Hi guys, my name is Sam, the founder of Overseas Student Australia, a startup that helps international students in understanding study, work and life in Australia. Over the last few weeks, we have been getting lots of requests to share my personal journey as an international student in Australia. So in this video, we're gonna discuss that. To make this video more useful for you guys, I'm gonna give you 5 lessons that I've learned as an international student in Australia. And you can use these lessons for your own personal journey as well. Without further wasting any time, let's get started. So I came to Australia in 2006 to do my master's degree in accounting at Central Queensland University in their Melbourne campus. Now I come from a very small town in the northern part of India, and when I first came to Australia, my English level was pretty basic. Now Australia has definitely transformed my life and made me a better person. So whether it's cooking, management skills, life, work, dealing with people from different cultures, or overall personality development, studies in Australia has immensely helped me. Now, I come from a very middle class family, born and brought up in a very small town, and before coming to Australia, I completed my Bachelor degree of Commerce in India itself. Now when it comes to studies, I consider myself an average student, as on an average I was scoring anywhere between 60 to 70% in my studies. So after completing my degree, I decided to do my master's degree overseas, and I chose Australia as my destination. Obviously, one of the reasons for choosing Australia was the quality education here, distance from India, and the weather here. Before coming to Australia, I did manage to get few months of work experience in an accounting office in India, which helped me a lot in my career in Australia. So the lesson number 1 that you can learn here is get some work experience before coming to Australia. Although the work culture in Australia and your home could be quite different, but it will certainly help you to learn some of the common things at any workplace around the world, which is teamwork, communication, and management skills. Now to apply for my visa, I did a fair bit of research myself. So I asked many of my friends who were living here in Australia and they were doing their studies here, and meeting various educational consultants and agencies in India. Although I couldn't do that much of internet research as I would have loved to, as internet was very expensive back then and we couldn't afford that. So applying for student visa was pretty straightforward process. For the financial side of my visa, I got sponsored through my father's friend, and I really thank him for that. And I also managed to score a big educational loan that supported me during my studies here. It was much easier to get as my father works in the bank. Now when I came to Australia, I realized I could have chosen a better university than where I was studying, because of the cost of study in this university was equivalent to one of the other very popular universities in Melbourne. So the lesson number 2 here for you guys is to do your research properly. Especially with the technology and the internet these days, you should be doing all your possible research before coming and making a decision whether to study in Australia or in specific university. You should do a proper research. Now I landed in Australia in November 2006. And I had many friends who were already studying here, so that helped me a lot to settle my life here. So a big shout out to those friends who helped me along the way in my student life and afterwards. I couldn't have done without their help. Now when I first landed here in Melbourne, everything was pretty much new for me, including language, culture, studies, and the general environment. Now regarding my studies in Australia, now in the first semester I didn't score that well as I should have. And the reason for that was that I couldn't understand some of the concepts here. So things like referencing, plagiarism, research, they were pretty new to me, and I wasn't very sure and was very shy in asking questions to my lecturers, my trainers and tutors. So the lesson number 3 for you guys here is don't be shy and ask questions to the people around you. So whether it's regarding your studies, work, or anything in general in life, ask questions to the people who can help you. So it could be your lecturer, tutor, support officer from your educational institute, a friend, or anyone who can help you with your questions or queries. Now regarding my work life in Australia as an international student. Now I couldn't find my work for the first 2 months back in those days. And the first job that I managed to get in Australia was through a friend's reference. And my first job was washing dishes in the local restaurant. Now obviously it was very challenging for me to do that sort of a job, but I told myself that it's only a temporary job, you won't be doing it for the rest of your life. and that's very common story among international students here in Australia. Now I hated that job that much that I kept applying for other jobs as well while I was working in that job. And after applying for nearly 6 months, I managed to get a decent job as a retail assistant in Woolworths. Now Woolworths is a very big supermarket in Australia. It was indeed difficult to get that sort of a job here in Australia when you are a student, but I managed to did it because I kept trying and kept applying. So the lesson number 4 for you guys here is don't give up and keep trying and keep applying for the jobs. Now I completed my master's degree around July 2008, and obviously after that I was looking forward to apply for my permanent residency here in Australia. So I had 2 options after completing my graduation, that I either had to do a professional year or I had to score 7 scores in each module of IELTS test. PTE wasn't there at that moment. Now I did manage to score 7 in each module of IELTS after a couple of attempts, and I decided to go ahead and apply my PR with an experienced lawyer here. I could have done it myself, but I decided to go with someone more experienced in this industry. And I managed to get permanent residence after 6 months of my application. Now after completing my graduation, I was looking forward to a full-time position in the accounting industry. So I started applying for many junior sort of roles in an accounting industry. And most of my applications were done online through using different websites and apps. And many of the applications that I sent ended up in being rejected. There were few that I managed to get through to an interview stage, but most of them had a similar sort of question that frustrated me a lot. The question was, do you have a local work experience in accounting industry in Australia? And obviously my answer to that question was no, as I didn't have any experience in Australia in the accounting industry. Now I kept getting the same sort of question in most of the interviews that I went, and that did make me really frustrated in one of the interviews that I went. And I asked the interviewer, if you don't give me a job, how am I gonna get a local experience in Australia? He understood my frustration and referred me to a person who ended up getting me an internship in a local accountant's office. Although it was unpaid internship, it certainly helped me a lot to get that experience that I needed to get a full-time job role. Although I did manage to get a full-time job role in accounting industry, but I didn't like it that much. So I decided to do a career change. And I changed my profession to a trainer, where I started training international students in an international college here in Melbourne. As being one of them, I loved working with international students. And over the last 9 or 10 years, I've been working with international students in this industry now. On a personal level, I met my better half in 2013 and we got married in 2015. And now we are blessed with one 2-year-old daughter as well. And currently she plays the role of Chief Happiness Officer at Overseas Students Australia, making sure everyone's happy and getting entertained. My future plan is to continue helping international students as much as I can and continue growing Overseas Students Australia so many international students can take advantage of this service. The life as an international student in Australia wasn't very easy. There were a lot of sacrifices, hard work, but at the end of the day, it was all worth it. So the last lesson that you can learn is hard work definitely pays off. Stay focused on your goals, work hard and smart. And the last but not the least I would like to say is, if I can do it, you can do it too. Well, I hope you find some value in this video regarding my personal journey as an international student here in Australia. If you do, I would love to hear back from you guys in the comment section below. And if you have any further questions, don't hesitate to ask in the comment sections as well. And if you're new to this channel, I suggest you to subscribe, as we make videos every single week for international students who are planning to study in Australia or they are currently studying here. We cover a range of topics like studying, working and living in Australia, focusing on overseas students' needs. Apart from this channel, we got plenty of resources on our website as well. So go and check out overseasstudentsaustralia.com or overseasstudents.com.au for more details. So you can search various type of courses that international students can do in Australia. You can download freebies like resume and cover letter templates, checklists, and other various guides that will help your journey as an international student here in Australia. We also write various articles on our website as well. So check out our blog section for more details on that. Apart from all this, we also produce a yearly guide known as Overseas Students Guide, and we suggest you to download from the link in the description below. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.